Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Spiritually Speaking. I have with me today my friend Brittany, who I'm going to let her tell you all about what she does because it's really cool. Brittany, thank you for joining me today on this episode. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you, Misty. Happy to be here. So what I'm doing is I'm doing spectral investigations. I go out to different sites that have known entities to roam the area. So I go out and see if I can't talk to them, get them to communicate with me, and try to learn a little bit about how they died and just see if there's any way that I can help them pass on and move into the light.
Okay. And so by entities, what do you mean exactly by that?
Well, spirits, that roam this earth. I mean, there's other entities in the world too, but I try not to mess with them as much because, they're just here to torment per se, I guess. Some of them, that is. But for the most part, the spirits that haven't passed on yet, I try to do what I can to make sure that they can go towards the light.
Okay. And so how do you communicate with them? Are you a medium? Tell us a little bit about how that works.
Well, I mean, I do have some medium senses. Yes, I'm still trying to hone in on those a little bit more. It just, it's been a bit of a process with that. But for the most part, I use my uh, devices that I have. I have Spirit Box, music box. I have an obelisk, dowsing rods, all sorts of different gadgets that I use to go out and talk to them. And they definitely use them. It's an amazing experience. I love when I can actually communicate with them through those different devices.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about the different devices and how they work. Like, can you just go through them one by one and tell us exactly what they do?
Yeah. So the Spirit Box, it's a FM and AM radio. Basically, what that does is you can speed up the process. What am I trying to say? Speed it up so that it goes faster, and um, you can through the radio you can hear the voices of spirits talking to you. You just ask questions. You can do an Estes method, and basically what the Estes method is you put a wrap around your face, headphones in, and then you just completely go into this trance and just listen while somebody is asking questions, and you will answer as follows, per se, what they are saying to the questions.
Okay, so you're kind of interpreting for the spirit's saying things, and you hear them through the headset, and then you
Yes,
say what they are saying. So does
yes.
that get recorded and you're able to hear it back later, or is that just a kind of on the spot type of thing?
That's an on the spot type thing. I mean, if I want to have what the spirit's saying recorded, I would use the obelisk because it has a bunch more different features. One
Okay.
being the dictionary, which they will, if I'm recording a video, you can hear what they are saying out loud, and it's usually just one word, but occasionally you'll get a small sentence, just depending on what you're asking.
Mhm.
And it's quite fun just listening to what they have to say, because you're like asking all these questions and all of a sudden they respond and I'm like, wow. It's pretty
That is pretty
incredible.
cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool. So, and what are the other devices that you mentioned? You said you had a light box, I believe that was one.
The music box. So what the
Okay.
music box is it's a sensor. You turn it on, and you make sure that there's nothing protruding it, and set it on the ground, and they will interact with it by setting off the music. Just walking past it will set it off. The motion sensor will catch the motion from the spirits. And I did that back in New Orleans, and there was this one spirit that was quite enjoying turning it off. He was it was like he it what am I trying to say? The music that was heard, it was like something that he had listened to back in his time before he had
Oh,
passed on.
okay.
So he was enjoying hearing it again and talking to us and telling us his story in that way by giving us the motion of him being there with the music box going off.
Okay, so did you like ask him questions and then he would respond by setting the music box off? Is that how that worked?
Oh yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
really interesting.
It is.
Yeah, that's very cool. So what got you into this, Brittany? What made you decide, oh, one day, you just got up and were like, I think I'll do paranormal investigation now. Like, how did that happen?
Well, honestly, the story behind it is, I mean, throughout my life, I've been followed by spirits and entities. So it's been something that's been a constant for me. And it wasn't until after my late husband committed suicide that I really got started on it. But I had so many experiences with him, and even before him, I had experiences. And just with all of that, with his passing and everything, it hit me, and it made it to the point where I wanted to learn more about what had happened to him. And in turns, I want to learn more about the other spirits that still roam this earth so that I can help them any way that I can.
Mhm. And do you feel like you did learn what you needed to know about your husband? And did you use these devices to help you in that quest?
Well, I still haven't gotten a straight answer from what I have gotten so far from him. And yes, I did use the spirit box. I've used, I even at one time used the Ouija board, which I will never do again. But the only reason I did that was because I was hoping to get more of a better response from him.
Mhm.
And in turns, the spirit that, I mean, he came out on it at first, and he's like, you don't need to be on this, there are bad spirits. So after a while of using it, this one spirit came out, and it was not a good one at all. So I said goodbye, and that was the end of it. But
Wow.
with the spirit box, I mean, he tells me he's not sure really how to explain why he did what he did, and he's afraid to because he feels like it's going to hurt me.
Oh, I see. And how do you feel about that? I mean, I know we're like doing this podcast and you don't have to answer the question if you don't want to.
No, it's fine, no worries. Honestly, I want answers. I need to understand why he did what he did,
Mhm.
and I feel like he's just avoiding it.
Mhm.
I know that my daughter, she's always telling me that she speaks with her father every night, and he tells her how much she loves her and everything, and
Yeah.
says that you're a good girl, this, that, and everything else, take care of mama, so on and so forth. And I've even asked her several times, I said, can you ask daddy to talk to me? Because I feel like he's not doing so. And she's like, well, he's trying to, but he doesn't know how.
Okay. Have you thought about or considered consulting another medium who may be able to better communicate with him for you?
I have thought about it, yes. Um, I just, I guess in a way, I'm afraid of knowing what the truth is.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to avoid it at the same time. But I mean, it's kind of two different sides. I want to know, but at the same time, I'm afraid to know.
Right. And so you know that resistance to that is why you're not getting a clear message because there's that piece of you that doesn't actually, and he knows that. He knows you're not ready to hear it.
Yeah.
So I know that's frustrating sometimes, but we get protected by the people who love us,
Yeah.
as well, and they know we're not ready to hear those things, so they don't, like I've actually interviewed other people who have said they are mediums, they
Mhm.
can communicate, but they're like, I don't want to see anything. So they set that boundary. They're like, you can talk to me all you want, but don't show me you. Like I don't like that's going to scare me. So, and sometimes it's a very distinct intention that
Mhm.
we set that boundary with. And then sometimes it's more of a subconscious thing that creates that boundary without us really actually realizing that we're putting that in place.
Right. And honestly, for me, seeing him isn't going to scare me. I mean,
Right.
I get excited going out doing these investigations, and I want to see something. I want to be able
Yeah.
to actually physically see something because I mean, in the past, I've seen uh, entities, and it intrigues me.
Yeah.
It gives me a thrill. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just I get really excited when I go out to investigate because I want to see something because I know that I'm not going to get scared.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool. And for those of us who enjoy that, it's really, really cool. But I know that it does frighten a lot of people. So do you find that you see things like with your physical eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes do you see things that you get recorded that you did not see with your physical eyes?
It's a bit of both. I mean, lately I've seen quite a bit in my house. Honestly, I've heard things, I've felt things, I've seen things, mainly orbs.
Hmm.
But when it comes to like hearing things, I'd hear like loud noises coming from the other room, or a tap or a knock, stuff
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
But no, I physically have seen orbs and
Yeah.
entities as well.
Yeah. Now, what do you mean by entities? What do they look like? Can you describe those to us?
Well, they're shadow looking people. They're pitch black. For instance, when I was about 13, 14 years old, I would see these things that would look like, for instance, my cat or even my dog. At one point, it looked like my mother. So it was like a morphing type entity. It
Oh,
would morph
interesting.
into someone or somebody that something that I knew,
Hmm.
and it appeared in front of me, and I'd look and say, "Hey, so and so," and then poof, they're gone.
Yeah. So the morphing aspect of it, do you feel like that was a nefarious entity that was just shape shifting to try to trick you, or do you feel like um, it was actually a benevolent entity?
I think it was just a creature that an entity that was trying to deceive me. It wasn't
Okay.
really malevolent. I didn't feel any bad energy from it. So I think it was just something that was following me that felt like they were trying to protect me potentially, but they never meant any ill intentions towards me.
Okay, that's interesting. But you use the word deceive you at the beginning, so you don't feel like that you still feel like it was a protective energy, even though that it was deceiving you.
Well, yeah, because I mean, just by them changing into someone or something that I knew,
That
I
was
guess,
familiar.
yeah, it was familiar to me. So they deceived me that way because I mean, the thing wasn't there when I looked back. So,
Yeah, yeah. So where do you go to do these investigations?
well, I mean, I've been to graveyards. That's one of my big ones. I've been to a couple of forts. I'm actually going to be going to another fort this weekend, Fort Pickens, to do an investigation. Uh,
Yeah,
Me and my fiance will be doing that, and I've been to a couple of buildings. One being a escape room. This woman that I know in Foley, she has an escape room, and she let me investigate. She told me about how she's had some ghosts messing around in her escape room and making noises and stuff and scaring off her customers. So I went ahead and did some investigations, and the investigations came out, and I saw some orbs in one room because I set up two cameras. I set one off in one room over to the left, and then another one further down to the right. In the first room over to the right, or left, sorry, left. Um, I had not only a regular camera, but I had a XLS camera. And what the XLS camera view shows, it doesn't show any stick figures or anything, but it shows this mass, this black mass. And you see it a couple times on the ground, and then it moves up towards the wall. And when it's up by the wall, you see not only black, but like orange, red, and yellow. So you see it right up there, and it's there for a brief moment and then disappears.
Wow.
Mhm.
And what's the general feeling of that energy that you're describing now?
It is calm. It doesn't mean any harm. From what I can tell, it's the lady said that she lost her mother recently, and I feel that it's her mother trying to protect the area and help her get through everything.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So what did you find as far as the energies that were scaring away her customers, or do you feel like that's their perception of what they saw that made it frightening to them?
I think it was just their perception. They didn't know what to think. They're not used to that kind of thing, so it just
Yeah.
frightened them, and they didn't want to come back per se
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah. It is scary for some people, especially if they're not familiar with it or they're very religious in their views, so they feel like anything that's not a certain thing is evil, you know.
Right.
So yeah, it's a very interesting. So what other places have you gone? And then tell us what your most vivid and memorable experience has been so far.
Okay. I mean, graveyards, forts. I also went to an old hospital, Old Sacred Heart. And what led me to Old Sacred Heart was this doctor. And how I met this doctor was I went to a cemetery. It's St. John Cemetery. And he led me all the way to this hospital to tell me about a conspiracy that happened there. So that was pretty neat. Doing that, I ended up losing the footage. I don't know what happened there, but the footage just vanished. It's gone, and I want to go back there and do it again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, so the you said you met a doctor. Was it an actual a live doctor or was it a spirit?
spirit doctor, Dr. Walter Payne was his name.
Okay. And did you do some research on him to find out
I
what his
did.
history is and if he actually existed?
Yes, I did. And it said that he was the doctor to this old Sacred Heart when they first opened it up. And there was some shady stuff going on at that time that they opened up, and said that there's this one particular person. He named him Morgan. Um, and he said that Morgan was doing all these experiments on patients down in this infirmary, which now there's a school that's sitting on top of it.
Oh, wow.
So when I went there and um, I looked around, I there were some more spirits that confirmed, yes, this Morgan did do some stuff, and it was just insightful and crazy. It's like the only way that this guy is going to be able to move on is if somebody tells his story about what happened back then.
Hmm. And do you feel like he's shared enough of that with you, or do you feel like you'll get more of it when you go back again?
I feel like he's shared quite a bit. He's done a lot. I mean, he led me straight to the old Sacred Heart facility. So I
Right.
feel like what he told me about the situation was more than enough for me to go over to the facility and investigate further.
Hmm.
Of course, it's been kind of hard to do so since the old Sacred Heart is being utilized as different businesses and stuff like that. There's a restaurant over there, there's and stuff. So I basically had to walk around the facility to get any insight on anything because if I went on the property, then I'd get kicked out because it was a business.
Gotcha. That's so interesting. So, are you feel like you are meant to write a book about his story, or what do you plan on doing with that piece of it to get his story out
Honest,
there so that he can move on?
Honestly, I haven't thought about it, but I mean, maybe doing a book or even a blog of sorts telling his story so that the world can know exactly what went on back in that time, 1816, I believe it was. Um, he needs to have that happen in order to help him to move on in life because if not he's just going to stay here and try to get somebody else to tell his story. So I
Right.
feel like I need to be that person because he's opened up to me
Yeah.
more than a couple of times because I've visited his site at least 3 or 4 times just trying to
Okay.
get more details on the situation.
Okay. And for those of you who don't realize where in the world we're talking about, Brittany lives in the Pensacola, Florida area. So that's where these investigations, most of them have been going on. Is that not correct?
Yes, ma'am. I
Okay.
mean, I'll occasionally go to Alabama. Like I said, I went to New Orleans. I'm trying to go to different areas in Florida, different areas just around me, and eventually I'll be going like further out into the world, different states and stuff. At one point, I want to go to the Bell Witch Cave in Tennessee.
That'd be cool.
Yes.
That'd be really cool. Well, my life is shifting, Brittany, so maybe I will be able to join you on one of these endeavors that you do somewhere at some point so that I can experience it as well. So, because as you know, I'm also a medium and I pick up on these things and like I see spirit in all kinds of different ways. So it'd be really cool to go and actually participate in an investigation like this and see what I see and experience and be able to see how all your gadgets work that help you communicate with those who have crossed over. That'd be
Yeah.
really cool.
I'd enjoy that. I definitely would like to have you with me at some point.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about? Is he like your most vivid and memorable story, or do you have another one you would like to share?
Well, I actually have one other story, and this happened before I even moved here to Pensacola. I was living in Colorado Springs with my husband and my kids in this house that we rented out at the time. And nothing happened when we first moved in, but after a while, we started getting different uh, things that were going on. Like for instance, the first thing that I really remember, and this is the craziest part about it, was there was a couple of times in the morning that me and my husband would wake up to what we weren't really sure what the liquid was, but it would be a pool of liquid in our bed, and it filled the entire bed and we had no idea what happened. But it happened 2 instances, one right after the other. It was like one happened one day, and then like a week later, it happened again. And then after that, it stopped. But from there, we started feeling something or someone, for instance, touching us on the shoulder or on the arm. Um, we would wake up to the TV blasting, and the kids have seen this spirit on the edge of their bed watching them sleep. At one point, my husband saw her as he was coming out of the shower going into the bedroom. He saw what he said was this lady in white just looking in the bedroom, and then all of a sudden she disappears.
Mm.
And that happened for a good year before we did anything about it.
And then what did you do?
We ended up doing a seance for one, and during that seance, the whole room got chilled. It was freezing. And I started feeling something touch my left arm. And then after that, I heard a woman's voice saying, "I am here."
Hmm.
And so once we confirmed that it was a female and she was with us doing these things, we ended up going and getting holy water. And we would put holy water throughout the whole house, putting crosses on each door. And then eventually she went. She was gone.
Hmm. And who do you know who she was or what her intentions were?
We to this day still don't. We just know that she was an elder woman. Um, we didn't at that point in time. My kids were so scared; they didn't know what to do. So we had to do what we needed to make sure that they weren't scared and just get her out of there. But to
Right.
this day, I don't know who she was or what she wanted.
That's
But
so
she didn't mean any ill intentions because she never harmed us. She just would touch us and make noise, of course, with the TV, let us know that she was there.
Mhm. That's so interesting. And the kids, how do they react to what you do? Because I know you told me previously that they actually go with you on some of these investigations.
Yes, they do. They have gone with me on several investigations. I actually took a vacation just to go to different areas in Florida to investigate with them. We
Mhm.
ended up going to a couple of cemeteries. We went to what they call the Devil's Tree. Um, we there was a bridge that we were trying to find at one point, but we ended up not finding it. So I'm going to go back to that as well. But yeah, just basically a bunch of cemeteries and stuff like that that we really went to go check out. I got footage, but the footage, once I came home to review the footage, it was working just fine. And then the next day, when I went to go look at it again, it was gone. And I've been trying to do everything I can to get that footage back. I got it back to a point, but it's corrupt. So now I got to find a way to get it back to its full potential so that I can actually review the footage and see what happened.
That's wild. So why do you feel like it disappeared like that? Did you encounter something there that was a nefarious spirit that wasn't a good spirit?
Yes, at the Devil's Tree, yes, because that was supposed to be a demon. Um,
Oh.
and I definitely felt his energy while I was there. He did make himself noticed by going around and turning off our devices. We also had these cat balls with us, so he let the cat balls go off. At one point, he let the music box go off, but I'm thinking that he didn't want us to see that footage because there was something on it that wasn't supposed to be there, or not necessarily supposed to be there, but supposed to be seen.
Okay. Or that he just preferred you not to see or
Yeah.
whatever. What's a
Yeah.
cat ball and what does that do?
So a cat ball is this little round ball. It's got lights inside of it. You push the button and it lights up. So you'll put it's like a motion type thing as well. Well, more specifically, if you're near it and they feel the like pressure of your footstep or whatever, it'll go off.
Okay.
So we use
And he
those.
set that off as well.
Yes.
That's so interesting. Wow. So, and how far are you into this journey? How long have you been doing this now, Brittany?
Well, I mean, Officially, I've been doing it for about 4.5 years. Unofficially, I've been dealing with these spirits throughout my life, of course. And even when I was a teenager and I saw those shadow spirits or changelings or whatever you want to call them, I was curious about that. I wanted to learn more, but my parents were never they never supported what I wanted to do. So it was kind of like I had to push that out of the way and just let it go. Same with my husband. I felt like when I did things that I did with this female ghost, he just wanted to do anything he could to get rid of it for the kids' sake. At the same time,
Mm.
I wanted to learn more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
it was, yeah.
you have that curiosity, and then the people that have been around you, historically speaking, have been like, "Oh, that's too scary. Let's not do that."
Yes, basically. And it
Yeah.
wasn't until he passed away that I finally was able to do what I wanted to.
Oh, that's so interesting. Based on the things that you said before about him not sharing things with you, and then to make that statement that you just made, that's really interesting.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I felt like I was held back quite a bit with certain things, and that being one of them. I mean, at one point when I was a stay-at-home mother with my kids, I would go on my phone and I would download these ghost apps, and I'd go out to the park with the kids, or I'd stay at the house and try to learn more about these spirits, especially the woman, because I wanted to know more. I wanted to see her. I wanted to interact with her. And
Yeah.
while he was at work, I'd get these things out and try to interact with her.
Yeah.
But at that time, I felt like I didn't know what I needed to be able to do
Hmm.
so. But now, over time, since I've learned more about the different devices, the different things that I need to do spectral investigations, I have more knowledge now to be able to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we're just not ready.
Yeah.
Just everything, like it's just not the right timing for us to do certain things. And so, and then when those other things move out of the way and our energy shifts and we learn more, then they start falling into place, which is really kind of a cool thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So where's your next space that you plan on going, Brittany?
Well, Fort Pickens was the next place I
Oh,
plan on.
that's right, Fort Pickens. And then do you have somewhere planned after that?
Not immediately, no. I mean, I just basically the Fort Pickens thing was a given. We were actually supposed to do it this last weekend, but things happened, so we didn't have the opportunity to do so. So now we're going to go it this weekend. Uh, but usually, when it comes to like us trying to figure out what or where we're going to go next, it we try to figure it out no later than like Wednesday, which is a couple days before we actually go do it.
Gotcha.
So, but I do have several places that I have saved on my map to go look at. So we'll take a look at
Yeah.
those and see which one we want to do next.
That sounds really exciting. And now Fort Pickens, I'm familiar with Fort Pickens since I was raised in that area. So, do you have a particular spirit that you're hoping to contact? Because I know some pretty cool people were at that fort
Mhm.
long time ago.
Well, I'd like to get in touch with this spirit Robert again, because there was one time that me and the kids went there and he was following us around, not doing anything bad. He was just protecting us.
Yeah.
And he led us straight to his gravesite.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah.
what's Robert's last name? Were you able to find that out?
Williams, Robert Williams.
And was he a soldier or what was his story? Or
Yeah,
what is his story?
he was a soldier. He was a soldier, and he died during the war back in what was it, 1842, I think, something like that.
Wow. And were you able to have any kind of communication with him at that time, or was it just you felt his presence there and he shared his name with you?
Well, I felt his presence. He didn't say a whole lot, but like I said, he led me straight to his graveside. That was about the extent of it. He would say who he was. He led us over there and showed us where he was buried. And from there, nothing more than that. I think he was just
Mhm.
trying to protect us from anything bad.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, it'll be fun to do a follow-up after you go to Fort Pickens and see what happened while you were there. And I know you do have your own YouTube channel, Brittany, which I will put
Yes.
the link for that in the description box so people can check out some of the things that you've done
Mhm.
previously. And then maybe by the time this drops, you'll have been to Fort Pickens and have that on there too. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I can't. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be a really cool trip. Plus,
Hmm.
Fort Pickens is just really interesting. It's a very interesting place to go visit.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been
Yeah.
there many a times with the kids.
Hmm.
They love it. We
Yeah.
go all over the place to explore.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Brittany, thank you so much. Is there anything before we go that you would like to share? Anything else you'd like to share?
Um, no, I don't think so. I've
Okay.
basically told you the gist of what I do, and I'm just ready to continue my journey and help any spirits that I can, and just enjoy going to these sites to see these spirits.
Yeah,
It's
and you do offer investigations for people if they would like to have you come investigate, but there is some cost involved in that for your
Yes,
travel and time and expenses and all of that stuff too. So if you do
yes,
have somewhere that you'd love to have Brittany come and investigate for you, then please reach out to her. I'll have her information in the description box below the video. Right?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Brittany, for joining me on this episode. I really appreciate your time, and I think it's really cool what you do. I find it intensely fascinating. I really do.
I thank you for that. I enjoy what I do. It's the only thing that I've felt was I felt it, I'm trying to say something, but it's just not coming out right.
That's okay.
It's the only thing that I felt good about since I have been here, since I've really been doing anything for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, all the jobs that I've had, I was miserable, but this is the
Yeah.
one thing that I feel at ease with, that I enjoy doing, that gives me a thrill.
Yeah. That's awesome. We call that alignment, Brittany.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you again, Brittany. Thank you for everyone for joining us on this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it so fascinating. And if you would like to get in touch with Brittany, her information will be in the contact. Her contact information will be in the description box. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.